Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my last shot on this video. I don't know whether it's the morphine, the fentanyl, the fact that I forgot to screen record the first time, but I don't care how bad I look. I don't care how bad I sound. The lighting's gonna be messed up. And frankly, I'm in a lot of pain right now. And I have the ER bracelet to prove it. I spent the better part of the New Year's Eve in the emergency room. Let me give you that backstory quickly and then we'll move on to the purpose of the video because I am buying a house and I'm doing it sight unseen. I want to talk with you a little bit about that because I don't recommend it for everybody, but you can get to a point where you can start making offers like that. And I'm going to give you two of the key first steps in doing that in today's video. So to get the backstory out of the way, I stepped out of the fifth wheel yesterday. I hit that top step covered in ice and bottoms up, flying through the air, twist and turn and trying to make it as graceful as possible. And I land right on the corner of the metal step and I break my 10th rib. It has been agonizing. If you guys have ever broken a rib in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is the second time I've done this. I don't know what is making this one so much more painful, but it literally feels like I've been shot from the front through the stomach or stabbed or something. I mean, I'm in a lot of pain, and frankly, I haven't even left this chair now in, I don't know, probably 16 hours other than to go to the bathroom, which was absolute torture. So bear with me on this video. Like I said, I'm coming off a lot of hospital drugs. I don't know how many doses of morphine and then fentanyl they gave me, but they were really just piling it in to try and get me through that CT scanner to make sure I didn't have internal bleeding. So I've got dogs running around today and we're gonna get through this video. I promise there's gonna be plenty of value for you. Drop a like on this video if you've ever broken a bone. Leave a comment, tell me what you've broken. Have you ever broken a rib? I'd be really curious to read the comments on this because I'm sure some of you can empathize. Now, the reason I was recording that first video, which I forgot to screen record, is because I wanted to show you just how easy it is to get a pre-qualification letter. In spite of having a broken bone, I have found a property today that I want to make an offer on, and I'm even willing to do that sight unseen. Now, if you're anything like me at all, you're addicted to Zillow. Drop that thumbs up if you're addicted to Zillow too, guys. I can sit on Zillow for hours. You know, when you're laid up, you can't move, that only exacerbates the addiction. And so here I am, I find this great property. A couple things I liked about this property. Number one, it looks rent ready to go. Now, rent estimate on this falls well below the preferred 1% rule that I have, which many investors are attracted to. That's where if this is gonna cost me $260,000, I'd love to be able to rent it for $2,600 or more every month. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere near that. The rent estimate is at $1,800, but I think there's a lot of meat on the bone as far as cash flow is concerned, especially since I'm gonna put a considerable down payment in. I'll put at least 20% down on this. The Zestimate, speaking of Zestimates, is coming in at $306,697. Now we know that the rent estimate and the Zestimate value of this property are probably both wrong. Sometimes it can be a lot. I do know that this $306,000 is probably not too far off, but look, I'm not upset at that. I'm not hating on $46,000 as a Zestimated equity position coming into this. Again, maybe it's the drugs talking here, but I can't really tell based on the photographs where the refrigerator is even supposed to go. I'm not sure if it goes back here in this cranny. I don't know if that's what that is. It looks like a washer dryer. We'll figure all that out if I end up buying the place. That's all fine and dandy. Now you might be listening to this and saying to yourself, what an idiot. Okay, this guy has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to real estate investing. You have to be a lot more granular about the specifics, and more power to you. I don't feel like I have to be good at real estate investing to make a lot of money with it. And how is it that I can go about saying that? Well, folks, it's because I have a very specific 3-step rule to building wealth. Now, this is my approach. Do it however you want to. And I love a lot of the other specialists on this platform that are really great at real estate investing, and they've built their wealth by real estate investing. But long-term buy and hold real estate investing never felt like it was changing my day-to-day lifestyle. I did it for a long time as a primary approach to wealth creation. And each and every day, I wasn't out chartering yachts in Europe and thinking to myself, thank God for my rental properties, or I wouldn't be on this boat. Most of the time I scratch my head, I'm thinking, is this thing making me more broke? I have tenants hitting me. Literally had a tenant hit me up yesterday and say, I'm going to struggle to pay rent this month. Is it possible to do some more work on the property for you and get a rent reduction? So I'm not looking at my rental real estate and thinking, wow, this is really changing my life. But after you have it for 10 years, After you have it for 15 years, something magical really starts to happen. And you're really looking at the portfolio and saying, I am so glad that I made these long-term net worth investments. So I try not to confuse my long-term net worth investments for short-term net cash flow solutions. And my recommendation and what's worked best for me is focusing on short-term net worth solutions, short-term net cash flow solutions that I can scale by building processes, systems, and teams that I can then compound into exponentially more short-term net cash flow that then lets me invest in that long-term net worth asset. And then I don't even have to be good at it because I can put a lot of money down. I can pay it off quickly. If things go sideways, I'm covered. I have a large surplus of capital. I have access to other types of capital accounts, which we call debt weapons. Again, my exposure, my risk load, and the possibility of things going dangerously wrong is almost eliminated entirely by me following this approach. So I always recommend that approach first. Paying off debt is a very important piece to wealth creation as well. Okay, so short and long-term investing, short-term net cash flow, long-term net worth, as well as the liability minimization / elimination is the combination that allows me to grow my cash flow. I call that cash flow stacking. That's where I'm focusing on both sides of the balance sheet. Now, cash flow stacking by way of eliminating liability and debt means that I can focus on debt elimination every day. Every day I look for an opportunity to eliminate debt. In fact, let's go into a couple of my accounts real quickly here, okay? Look at this mortgage that I just got. I closed on this refinance. You can see that I made my first payment, which was for the January 1st deadline on December 21st. You can see that that payment came out to $2,472, but I slapped another $1,000 of availability on cash flow towards that mortgage here on that same date. Furthermore, since then, on December 28th and 31st, I went ahead and applied another $10,000. So literally within the last couple of weeks, I've put almost $12,000 against the principal of this brand new loan. Now, does that mean that I lose access to that liquidity? No. It just means that I can go out and get access to an even bigger home equity line of credit in second lien position because of the equity on this property. Okay, so this mortgage is now at somewhere around $460,000. The property value on this is at somewhere around $725,000. So I can get a home equity line of credit revolving line that's available to up to 80% of this value combined with that first. Okay, so that's what they call a CLTV, combined loan to value, up to 80% of the value of that property, leaving me then north of $100,000 in availability that I can use anytime for any reason, including down payment on other properties. So I don't lose access to this liquidity, and it saved me a tremendous amount of interest. Let's take a look at another mortgage that I have. This is on a rental property. You can see that my payment is $2,320 per month. You can see that my current balance is just $347,205. But you can also see that my original loan amount was $363,750. Now, do you know how long it would take most people to pay this type of principal off? Okay. By the way, this loan, my very first payment was August 1st of 2020. So I've only had this loan for a handful of months, literally 5 months that I was making payments on this loan. Okay. Take a look at the actual history behind these payments. Same thing on this house. Okay. You're going to see a lot of similarities behind the last house and this one in this payment history schedule. You can see here on August 1st of 2020, I made the normal payment of $2,320. Of which $489 was interest, principal, $1,326 was interest. Okay, you can see just how bad the amortization schedule leaves you as far as how much interest you're paying, even with great interest rates. You can see I slapped another $1,000 in principal at that same time. In September 1st on this property, along with the normal payment on September 1st of $2,320, of which just about $500 was principal there. So $1,500 in principal that month. But look, as we get going, I've paid $2,000 on top of the $504 the next month, plus another $2,000. Plus a $513 in principal on the normal payment, along with another $9,000 in principal contributions here, which, by the way, I've outlined on the Cash Flow Cruncher spreadsheet. Guys, drop a like on this video if you already have your Cash Flow Cruncher. This is a phenomenal tool. I unanimously hear from people as they fill this out that this is one of the best tools that they've ever used. One of the reasons people like it is because of this loan calculator tab. This is an amazing spreadsheet that not only will track cash flow summary, revenue and assets, your debts tab, your personal expenses, business expenses, but also on this loan calculator, you can see where I've put in this $363,000 starting loan size, and first payment being August 1st of 2020, where I put in these extra principal contributions throughout the year. And look at what I've saved on just the cost of this one house alone in the first handful of months of this loan. $40,300, $40,300 price reduction off the cost of this house, because I'm learning how to manipulate the way that the loans are serviced on these debts. Now, if you haven't seen how I've paid these properties off in full doing this, make sure you check the description below. I'll put a link in there for you, and make sure you're a subscriber to the channel as well. Very important. And it's almost magical how almost on a daily basis we're attacking and eliminating large sums of debt, whereby we're always on a daily basis looking for our next short-term net cash flow investment and long-term net worth investment, but we make those significantly less frequently. I'm paying off debt almost daily. I'm investing a handful of times throughout the year, maybe 2 handfuls of times throughout the year. I do have another business that's underway. I cannot wait to share with you guys. We've only been at it now for 3 full weeks, and we are about to launch. The upfront investment on that is $30,000. I anticipate I will get a 100% return on my money, or a 1% cap, or I believe that's a 1 cap rate. If you can make all your money back in your first year in business, you're doing phenomenally, okay? I also think that it's possible that I will earn 2 or 3 times my money back in the first, if not second year, absolutely. Will be at that pace. And I do see upwards of 7-figure potential. So make sure that you're a subscriber right now to the channel and hit those notification, that bell right there to get alerted every time a video is uploaded. Because I want to show you how these investments throughout each and every year lead to new income and assets. And this is not what you think, folks. Okay, this is completely off the wall type of an investment. Again, I wanted to try and touch on all of the points here as far as how I'm creating wealth by attacking debt and building short-term net cash flow streams of income along with long-term net worth assets. Now for the 2 first steps that you need to focus on if you want to be out buying yourself real estate. The first 2 things I had to do was, number 1, I had to make sure my credit was in order. Okay. When your credit is in order, and again, I'll leave a playlist in the description below for you to see all of the free ways that you can have a tremendous impact on your personal credit. You'll see how I just increased my credit back up again by another 60 points in literally the last 45 days by attacking a $13,000 personal line of credit and paying it in full. Now I'm at a 767 on the bureau that was pulled through better.com, where I then got my pre-qual. And that's the second step to getting after buying a property, guys. You need to get access to a pre-qualification letter. This pre-approval letter allows me as a buyer to be taken seriously by sellers. It is a scorching hot market. If this property I'm interested in has not already received multiple offers, it will by either the end of today or tomorrow. So in order to be taken seriously with my offer, I have to come in and say, look, I'm a qualified buyer. I have access to the capital necessary to buy this house, which then separates me from the other people that might be interested in this home. So before you waste the time of real estate agents, before you waste the time of sellers, make sure you're going after your pre-qualification or pre-approval letter. I like better.com right now as a lender. I went through them recently. I was a little bit concerned for a short period of time. Didn't even know at that time whether I would refer them to you, because I was like, well, this is getting a little dicey, but they handled it. We got to the closing table on time, and I love their back office interface. It's really smooth, simple to use. Everything is tracked in here. I went through that on another video with you where I showed you exactly what it takes to get a mortgage right now during post-pandemic era. I mean, present pandemic era. I guess it's not post yet, but post the start of the pandemic. And so I really like this lender. I think they have competitive rates, and I think that it's pretty seamless as far as their autonomy or automation on this system. So guys, I know I packed a lot of information in this. It's probably because my brain is a little too fuzzy right now. And by the way, I didn't even mention, but when I broke my rib yesterday, that was coming off of the last day of my Z-Pack fighting pneumonia, which you'll probably hear it a little bit in my voice on this video. Guys, it has been a rough 2 or 3 weeks for me. I've been bedridden for most of it. And I can't let it stop me from making great videos for you guys, walking you through my journey and showing you that in spite of having hiccups, in spite of being in severe pain, I'm still moving forward with my objectives. And I personally plan on making 2021 one of the best years of my life. I can't wait for that refresh button to finally take hold. Now, for many of you that might have started last night at midnight, for me, I've obviously got another 5 or 6 weeks of pain that I'm gonna have to get through before I feel the full effects of that refresh. But we've all been crossing our fingers for the end of 2020 to happen as soon as possible, and it's finally here, guys. So congratulations to all of us, right? And thank you for being here, a part of this channel. Make sure you're a subscriber if you weren't one already. Send all your healing prayers and energy my way, please. I need it, I need it, I need it. And until I see you on the next video, guys, get out there and hustle. Keep on cash flow. And more importantly than anything, make sure you stay healthy so you can enjoy all that cash flow. And we'll see you on the next video coming up soon. Take care. Bye-bye.